MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. Bet $100 at WynnBET and get a $100 free bet. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. We're also brought to you by SGPN Fantasy. Dominate your draft with the free SGPN Draft Kit. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/draft-kit. And the free roll football contest is back and better than ever. $5,000 up for grabs in our NFL contest and $1,500 in our brand new college football contest. Sign up exclusively in our Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford. I am in Newcastle upon Tyne, in sunny northeast England. Today is Monday, August the 29th, and we are here to handicap a full slate of MLB action for Tuesday, August the 30th. My first co-host is the OG here on the MLB Gambling Podcast from Houston, Texas, Mr. Moonaf Manji. Moonaf, what's happening?
Hey, Malcolm, how's it going? Just enjoying some U.S. Open tennis as we got started round one today. But other than that, it's football's here. We had college this weekend. Obviously, MLB is going on, but exciting times as a sports fan.
Yeah, I don't like the tennis. That's one. That's the boxing and other such fighting stuff's at the bottom of my list, but tennis would be one up from that. I just haven't. Yeah, I find it a bit childish. Anyway, I mean, I know that. I know that's really, A, that is quite a silly thing to say, and B, coming from me as well. But anyway, I'll let you deal with that comment however you want, while I introduce our other co-host, Mr. Noah Bennett. Noah, what's happening?
Malcolm, I'll have you know, I played tennis in high school. I was actually better at tennis than baseball, but I liked baseball a little bit more, so that's what I went to college to play. Definitely could have been a college tennis player, and I wish I started playing tennis a little bit earlier. But yes, I have not started my U.S. Open watching yet. I usually just watch like the big marquee games. I'm just a casual tennis fan. But I mean, diehard little league fan. I told everybody Hawaii.
Oh, get your flex in. Come on.
Before this thing started. Yeah, thank you. I'll take my bow now. That one. I'm just hoping that there's no news like a year from now saying that they're all 14.
Yeah, that they're all jacked up on steroids or something.
Yeah.
Mate, were you? I saw you tweeted your article that you'd written pre Little League World Series starting, which gave out Hawaii at plus 500, I believe.
Yeah. Hawaii
and
at
then,
plus 500. And then
any US state winner at plus 120. Was that the two picks?
Yep. Yeah. So it was good. Yeah.
Hats off to Noah. Congratulations, mate. Yeah, it's we've got skills.
Last time Malcolm's going to spend time with family because he always comes with he came with the one dig offline and then he already started chomping at tennis. So I don't know.
You can't have a go at me for
family.
For picking it tennis. No, I was just explaining before we went out. It's before we came on air here that it's been a bank holiday today. It's been a holiday day, which means forced family fun, doesn't it? So I'm currently I've got my pajamas on, but I've got them rolled up to my knees because the bottom of my legs are covered in nettle stings and various animal bites and all sorts from being dragged around with the IT department and the two kids on some kind of treasure hunt today. So yeah, my pajamas are rolled up to get some much needed relief to my weary old legs. Full slate of games tomorrow. Just some news on tonight's games. Actually, it's about an hour before the games get underway tonight. But the LA Dodgers have scratched Tony Gonsolin. Do we think this is going to be a further reaching injury to the next day or two? They said forearm tightness, which is really two dreaded words you don't want to hear. Or is he just having a little rest moon off? Has there been any further statement, or is it just they pulled him through that?
I think it's more of a rest thing. I know it's 15 days, so but he's going to miss maybe 3 starts in that span for the Dodgers. And I think that, now is probably a good time as any as you kind of approach the summer or September months of the baseball season, and the Dodgers are close to not there. I think they're almost 20 games above 500. Sorry, 20 games lead in the division. They're 5 games ahead of the Mets for the best record in the National League. So if you have a little discomfort, why not just put them on the IL, give them some time off, and I mean, you have games to spare. But yeah, hopefully it's more precautionary than anything serious, because he's having an incredible season for the Dodgers. I know Noah mentioned offline that this is the most innings that he's pitched in his career, so maybe that has something to do with it as well.
Yeah, and is this a common thing? Will are pitchers better off having a rest, in your opinion, or are they better off just continuing on the 5-day cycle? What's best for them? Noah, you're a pitcher. You know how these things work. What would be better for them? If a team like the Dodgers in this position to have a couple of weeks off, is that handy, or is that going to knock you out of your rhythm, out of sync?
I think it's a little bit of both, because obviously they can't really ramp him up back to where he was after this little bit of a break. It is a 15-day IL spurt, so he'll only be gone for half a month. But if you look at his career resume, 40 innings pitched in 19, 46.2 in 20, 55.2 in 21, 128.1 in 22. So he's doubled his max or most in his career innings pitched. So this is like, if you feel anything in your arm at all, this was like a situation where the team told him, you tell us and we will take care of it. You will be ready to go for us when it matters. They basically already locked up this division, and they're pretty, I mean, I don't know if they're close to a 1 seed, because there are better NL teams this year than in the past, but they're safely into the postseason. So with the whole 17 playoff format, they are safe and able to do this without penalty, I think.
Okay, good to know. The usual suspects are starting to populate the chat room. Dryden, Captain Insano. Good evening, boys. Aye, Captain. Okay, let's crack on then. So we will go tomorrow. No day baseball again. 6:10 Eastern first pitch is the Baltimore Orioles at the Cleveland Guardians. Spencer Watkins is the starter for Baltimore, and Cal Quantrill goes for Cleveland. Baltimore plus 135, Cleveland minus 158. Total set at 8. Moonaf set us on the road with a winner.
Yeah, Spencer Watkins 4-4 on the season with a 3.96 ERA. Last 5 games, ERA has been pretty good, 3.81. This just hasn't translated to wins for him. He's 1-3. Great on the road so far as well, 3-1 with a 3.72 ERA. The Orioles have lost 4 straight starts by Spencer Watkins, and it's really been, he hasn't really gotten the run support from the Baltimore Orioles. 2 games, they've scored 2 runs each. 1 game, they scored only 1 run. And then the last game against the White Sox, they only scored 3 runs for him. So not looking very good, at least offensive-wise, when Spencer Watkins on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles. Cal Quantrill, like you mentioned there, Malcolm, he's going to get the start for the Guardians. 10-5 on the season, 3.59 ERA. Last 5 games, absolutely brilliant. 3-0 with a 2.25 ERA. At home, he is undefeated. 6-0 with a 3.38 ERA. His last game was absolutely brilliant against the Padres. 7 shutout innings, only gave up 5 hits. He hasn't given up an earned run in 3 out of his last 4 starts, where he's gone at least 6 innings in each of those 4 starts. They've won 5 straight starts by Cal Quantrill. I think I'm going to stick with the Guardians here. I know the number is a little out of hand now at minus 155, but I can't look towards the Baltimore Orioles. Orioles have been a team that I've talked about backing at home. They're on the road here. I do like the Guardians to take care of business here against the Baltimore Orioles, to give them the money line.
Okay, so Moonaf takes a minus 158 shot with his first pick of the day. Noah, you?
So Baltimore, they're 5-2 in their last 7 games. Cleveland, they're 13-7 in their last 20. Baltimore has hit 5 straight unders here. The total's set at 8, and both Quantrill and Watkins have going pretty well lately. And then you go look at the bullpen, and Cleveland, they're 4th in the MLB with a 3.18 team ERA, and Baltimore, they have the 5th best bullpen with a 3.19 team ERA. I think this total's set a little bit high. My favorite play from this game is going to be the under.
got exactly the same conclusion as you, Noah. I did see this at 8.5, and that really did sway me, that extra half a run. It's another one of those where you take the 8 and you're kind of happy with the push when this finishes 5-3. But I like both pitches. Neither offense really lights it up. Cleveland did me well at a good dog price on Saturday night, plus 160 something. So yeah, I took the 8.5 earlier on. So have a look. That might move a little bit. The 8 looks about right. But yeah, Watkins and Quantrill are both going really well. The chat room, the captain enjoys Quantrill. He's backing up what Moonaf had to say about him. So yeah, I'll take the under as well. I've came on the side of a lot of totals. Again, me and Dylan did the show last night, and I really struggled to pick any sides. Dylan pointed out that he seems to think the books have been a lot sharper at the moment with lines, and I struggled. I've probably got from these 15 games 9 or 10 totals and only really a couple of leans. So I don't really know what's going on with that. Might just be the time of the season or just how it's panning out. 6:40 Eastern first pitch, the St. Louis Cardinals at the Cincinnati Reds, where Dakota Hudson, I nearly went with Daniel Hudson, Dakota Hudson will go over the St. Louis Cardinals, and Justin Dunn is on the bump for Cincinnati. St. Louis are short, minus 210, Cincinnati plus 175. Total's big here, set at 10. Noah, St. Louis at Cincinnati.
So the Cardinals here, I have them. I have the Reds as my dog on Monday, just because they're coming off Sunday Night Baseball, and that game was rain delayed for an hour or two, and I think it was a nice spot for the Reds. Here are the Cardinals, not counting Monday's game. They're 12-3 in their last 15. 9-4 in their last 13 against the Reds. Dakota Hudson, he's 7-6 this year, 4.23 ERA, 70 strikeouts, 55 walks, 121.1 innings pitched this year. This is going to be Hudson's 4th consecutive road start, and unlucky for him, he has a 5.21 road ERA. And for Cincinnati, Justin Dunn, he's 1-2, 4 career starts, 5.12 ERA, 15 strikeouts, 10 walks, and 19.1 innings pitched. He has 3 road starts this year. They were all good, but the one time that he pitched at home, he was blown up against the Cubs. If St. Louis loses on Monday, this is a great bounce back spot. But just in general, I think they have the better starter, the better bullpen, and the better lineup here on Tuesday's game. So I'll take the Cardinals on the run line.
Just in general, is he friends of Justin Dunn or little Justin joke? Anyone? No? Okay. We'll let that one slide. Moving off Cincinnati, St. Louis. That was a great joke. Get on with the podcast. I'm furious now. I've never used just. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You listen to it back and you'll realise I'm a comedy genius. Moving off St. Louis at Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything that Noah just said there. I think on Monday night, it's a bad spot for the Cardinals coming off of Sunday night baseball. And Justin Dunn is a guy that I'm not putting my money behind. He's just struggled in his start so far this season. There's no question about it. At home, he got blown up, like you said, by the Cubs. And I think you have a offense that's just clicking on all cylinders right now, where the Cardinals, that number will probably come out at 5.5 for the team total for the Cardinals, I believe. Probably a 5 as well if your book offers those flat numbers. And again, Dakota Hudson he's been all right against the Cincinnati Reds this season. He's allowed 6 earned runs in about 13 2/3 innings pitched. But I think that, again, if they lose on Monday night, I think that this is a good bounce back spot for the Cardinals. So give me the Cardinals run line, give me the team total for the Cardinals in this game as well.
Yeah, I've taken the Cardinals on the run line as well, but not really a big fade at Dunn. I quite like, I like him. And that one bad start he's had, he's only started 4 games this season. This is going to be his 5th start of the season. He was on the IL for a long time. So I think that was just a little bit of rustiness. I wouldn't read anything into the fact that it was a home start, and this is another one. I think there's going to be decent days ahead for Justin Dunn. He can go relatively well here, but St. Louis have had a good little win last night, and I think a little momentum builder as well for them. They have been going really well, so relatively close, but they're going to be 2 runs better than this. Could be something like 5-3, 6-3, something like that. So I will back up Moonaf and take St. Louis on the run line. 6:40 Eastern first pitch is the Tampa Bay Rays at the Miami Marlins, where Shane McClanahan, left-handed pitcher for Tampa Bay, And another lefty, Jesus Luzardo, goes for Miami. The lines are Tampa Bay minus 230, Miami plus 190. Total here is set at 6.5. McClanahan is 11-5 on the season with a 2.20 ERA. Has pitched 147 and 1/3 with 182 strikeouts. Luzardo 3-5 record, 3.34 ERA, 59 and 1/3 pitch, 69 nice strikeouts for him. McClanahan 3.94 over his last 5, but his last 4 earned runs in his last 19 innings pitched, he's got a 2.44 road ERA, which is excellent. And in one game against Miami this season, he did hurl 6 scoreless in that one. So I expect McClanahan to go well against this relatively weak Miami offense. And Luzardo's been going really, really well. 267 in his last 5. 3 of his last 4 starts have been absolutely outstanding. What we've got here, boys, is we've got 2 good starting pitchers and 2 relatively weak offenses. I know Tampa Bay lit up Boston last night for 12 runs, but generally speaking, Tampa aren't as dynamic as some of the other teams. So yeah, 2 good pitchers, 2 weak offenses. The total's low at 6.5. I did see a 7 earlier on. I'm going to have to hunt around again for another one. But I'm going to take the under here, Munaf.
Yeah, I think if you're able to find a 7 for the total for this game, I like the under on that. You take a look at WRC plus numbers for both teams against left-handed pitching. The Miami Marlins are the worst team over the last 2 weeks in WRC plus, and the Tampa Bay Rays are, number 17 against left-handed pitching over the last 2 weeks in WRC plus. So, I mean, you mentioned it. When I see left-handed pitching on the mound for the opposition against the Miami Marlins, I automatically want to take an under for either their team total or the full game. So if you're able to find a 7 in this game as a total, I love the under between these 2 pitchers, like you mentioned there, Malcolm.
Noah?
Yep, right there with you. I mean, what's one commonality between these 2 pitchers? They're both on my fantasy team, which is just hot and cold. That team. I just beat Insano. He's in the chat. I took him down this weekend. But, yeah, my team is done. Anyways, both these offenses are below average in general, but they are some of the worst against left-handed pitching in the league. Love the under here with both these guys.
So you were the blind squirrel this week, and Captain Insano was the peanut.
Okay, if you want to call me the blind squirrel this week, I was the blind squirrel last week too. I've had 2 straight wins against top 3 teams in our league.
What a guy. What a guy. It all looks good for next season, mate, when you can make a playoff. 7:05 Eastern first pitch is the Oakland Athletics and the Washington Nationals. Thrilling matchup, this one. Cole Irvin, left-handed pitcher, goes for Oakland, and Eric Fetty is on the bump for the Washington Nationals. Was a pick 'em earlier on. The lines have moved in favor of Washington. Oakland are even money, plus 100. Washington, minus 119. Total here is set at 8. Munaf, it's not a glamour tie, but somebody's going to win. Who is it?
Yeah, this is, I mean, the games that golly, I mean, where do I even go with this? Can I just pass this game?
I love it. It's right up my street. This is what I live for.
Muna, if you want to know what the tagline for games like this, it's 1-800-GAMBLER.
Yeah, it is. Golly. All right, Cole Irvin. I'll start with this. Left-handed pitcher again here. He's 6-11 on the season, a 3.16 ERA. Last 5 games, he's 0-4 with a 3.55 ERA. And this is a guy that you can't back on the road. He's 2-7 with a 4.88 ERA. They have lost the A's 4 out of the last 5 games in his starts at least. And, you know, maybe they're coming off of the high of beating the Yankees. I think, what was it, 2 out of 3 times?
2 out of 4.
2 out of 4. So they split against the Yankees, and they got the last win against them. So I'll talk about Eric Fetty here as well. You know, this was a guy last season that we were fading the hell out of, Malcolm. But,
yep,
I mean, it kind of looks like he's right back where he picked up last season. 5-8 with a 4.88 ERA over his last 5 games. 0-3 with a 6.38 ERA. He's allowed at least 2 earned runs in his last 5 starts. He's given up. He gave up 8 to the Atlanta Braves. He gave up 3 4 2/3 to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and another pitcher where his team has lost 4 of his last 5 starts. So, and I went and looked at the WRC plus numbers against left-handed pitching for the Washington Nationals. They're number 25, going up against Cole Irvin. Eric Fetty, right-handed pitcher, not much there to go off of. This total at 8, I think, is a little conservative. I think that we can see some offense break out. There's no way I'm putting my money behind either one of these pitchers. So I'll just take the over 8 in this game. I don't love it, but I think these guys can give up runs. Maybe a first 5 over if you want to fade both pitchers.
Noah, did you pick a side?
I mean, both pitchers are capable of giving up runs, but who's scoring them? I don't know. These teams, you look at Oakland, they've cashed 4 of their last 5 unders, and Washington's cashed 6 of their last 7. It's just a dangerous like field mine wherever you place your money in this game. I don't want any part of it.
I'll tell you who's going to win. Oakland Athletics is the answer. There you go. Easy. I like Cole Irvin. He's a better pitcher than Eric Fetty. That is my handicap. Take Oakland at even money.
But Irvin doesn't do well on the road.
That's not important tomorrow. It's not important tomorrow.
Clip this tomorrow when they lose.
Mate, you could trot out at Washington tomorrow and throw 5 scoreless, I reckon.
I might be able to. I don't know.
There you go then. So Cole Irvin can do that. Oakland are on a high. I mean, they've just beaten the Yanks last night. Did we? We all saw that, didn't we?
2 games in a row.
Yeah, 2 games.
There you go. So they can take down the Nationals, no problem. 7:07 Eastern first pitch. The Chicago Cubs at the Toronto Blue Jays. Marcus Stroman for the Cubbies and Kevin Gausman is on the hill for the Toronto Blue Jays. The Cubs are plus 192. Toronto minus 235. Total is set at 8. And Noah, you can lead us off.
Yay. All right. So the Cubs are 3-6 in their last 9. Toronto 1-6 in their last 7. Malcolm put them in top 10 power rankings. They're 1-6 in their last 7 at Rogers Center as well. So they're hosting the Cubs here, where Marcus Stroman, he has a road ERA of 2.11. He's 3-6 on the year with a 4.10 total ERA, 84 strikeouts, 27 walks, and 96.2 innings pitched. And Kevin Gausman at the Rogers Center is a 4.76 home ERA compared to a 3.15 ERA in this season. He's 9-9 in 2022 with 155 strikeouts, 22 walks, and 134.1 innings pitched. I think really, given their environments with the way that both of these starters have pitched and also the Blue Jays lineup struggles, the Cubs money line is enticing here.
Okay, so one for the Cubbies there. Munaf, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that, you take a look at the splits from Marcus Stroman, right? And Noah hit the nail on the head that at home at Wrigley Field, 0-4 with a 6.92 ERA. On the road, a lot better. And it's the opposite for Kevin Gausman. On the road, he's a lot better pitcher. And at home, he has struggled a little bit here where he's 3-6 with a 4.63 ERA. His last start against, I believe it was the Red Sox, where it was a subpar start for him. I mean, he dominated the Red Sox all season long, gave up some runs in that game in 5 innings to the Red Sox. Yeah, I think this is another stinky spot for the Cubs. And again, you've got to remember that Marcus Stroman used to pitch for the Blue Jays. So is there a motivation factor? Maybe. But he's kind of familiar with the stadium there and the dimensions and all that good stuff as well. So I think there's some value here on the Cubs on the money line here. I know you have the ace on the mound for the Blue Jays, but at a plus 190 price or even a plus 1.5 price on the Cubs, I think that could be a sneaky spot for them.
24 minutes before you got one of your mythical revenge spots into the show there for Marcus Stroman. Stroman let me down last time. I can't remember what game it was, but maybe it was a home road thing. But I'm not going to jump off him. I came down on a similar side as Noah, but I wasn't as brave. I've got the Cubs on the run line here at minus 120, getting a 1.5 run starts, because I just think Stroman can keep this close. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, I'll take Chicago, but not as brave as Noah. Noah takes the money line. I'll take the run line for the Chicago Cubs here. The lines that we are giving out tonight are to be found at WinBet. WinBet is the best place to get all your baseball bets. They have reduced juice currently on MLB. And you can also, the usual offers, bet 100 to get 100 is a free bet. The WinBet Casino, 24 hours a day, get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. And then also they've released their first quarterback with 5 touchdown prop bets. Remember, the answer is Derek Carr. Loads to choose from. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet so they know that we sent you. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bet today. Offer subject to change. T's and C's at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Odds Trader as well, a cracking new tool. If you haven't checked it out, I urge you to do so. They'll compare odds from all major sportsbooks for you, as well as giving you the best sign-up codes and promos, so you get the best value for your money as well. And then on top of that, you're going to get things like player stats, key game stats, injury reports, game day weather, and play-by-play updates, live scores, and then the bet tracker as well, which is absolutely outstanding feature. So you can get all of that at oddstrader.com/bluewire. OddsTrader is the #1 site for all of your game day bets. And the free roll football contest's back. The free roll football contest. We've got a college football contest, $1,500 up for grabs. Noah, you're going to have to talk me through that one. You're going to be my spirit animal and take me through the college football contest, because I know absolutely nothing about it. In the NFL contest, $5,000 and a 2-night stay at the Wynn Las Vegas. I hope they're going to pay my plane flight when I win that. Sign up exclusively in the Discord channel for those. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/discord. 7:10 Eastern first pitch is the LA Dodgers at the New York Mets. Good looking series, this one. We have Andrew Heaney going for the LA Dodgers, and Taijuan Walker is the starter for the New York Mets. The Dodgers are favourites at -130. The Mets are +110. Total here is set at 8.5. Andrew Heaney is 2-1 on the season, has a 1.94 ERA, has pitched 41 2/3 for 62 strikeouts. Walker is 10-3, 3.38 ERA, 117 1/3 pitched, 88 strikeouts. Heaney's up to 9 starts now since he got his season going off the injured list. He's settled in. He's given up 2, 3, and 2 over his last 3. He's actually had 2 10-strikeout starts, which they look like outliers to me. Maybe Noah can give us some little strikeout numbers on Heaney when we get to him. So yeah, he's been fine, and he has got there's been a lot of runs in his games as well. There's something like it was a 13-5 and then another sort of 12-4 game. There's a load of runs in a couple of starts. Walker, his last 5 numbers, his recent numbers are bad, but there's a 8 earned run start in there against Atlanta in 1 inning. He gave up 8 earned runs in 1 inning, which is completely skewed Walker's recent numbers. So yeah, that was 4 starts ago, and he's actually from then he's bounced back okay. So I wouldn't read too much into that. This was really hard to take a side. Obviously, two very good teams. Mets get home advantage. I'm not expecting a pitcher's duel here, so I'm going to take the over 8.5, boys. Munaf?
Yeah, I think that makes me nervous about the New York Mets in this game is that against left-handed pitching, they're not doing very well over the last 2 weeks. WRC plus, they are number 29 in team batting average. They are number 29. Slugging percentage against left-handed pitching, number 29. OPS, they are number 28. So they haven't been able to get going against left-handed pitching. And again, we're all kind of waiting for that Andrew Heaney game. And maybe it was against the Brewers on the road in his that start on August 18th, but he bounced back pretty nicely for them in that following start at home against the Brewers again, where he did go 6 innings, allowed 2 earned runs. On the road, he is winless, but he does have a 3.38 ERA. I want to take the Dodgers here, Malcolm, just because the numbers are tipping the scale for me that Mets just aren't good against left-handed pitching, and you have another right-hander on the mound going up against the Dodgers. So I'll take the Dodgers. It's probably going to be a chalky public play here, but I can't get behind an offense that can't hit against left-handed pitching.
Well, I think that price on the Dodgers is perfectly reasonable, Boone. There's not many times you get them at -130, so Yeah, why not? Noah, did you have any? I'm putting you on the spot here about Andrew Heaney's strikeout pops, but were those 10 punchy, 10 punchy efforts, are they kind of out of character, or is that more what we can expect?
I think that's kind of what we can expect. He started off the season that way too, having good outings with a good amount of strikeout numbers as well. My thing is, this Mets offense is going to come around. Like this was a predictable slump because they were so hot for probably a month straight. So it's a big series. I'm sure they're wanting to get up for the series against the Dodgers and show that, hey, like we're a player here in the postseason. So do I want to bet against that Mets offense? No, not really. But I think that's you have a tentative green light to go ahead and play it because Heaney just might be one of those guys that can pitch straight through a bad matchup with 2 10 strikeout appearances in a row.
Okay, and did you have a lean on this game at all?
I like the over, actually. I think that both offenses are going to put up some runs in this game.
Okay. 7:10, Eastern first pitch, the Seattle Mariners at the Detroit Tigers. George Kirby gets the ball for Seattle, and Matt Manning, Noah's guy, or everybody's guy last week, actually, is very much in the good books, is Matt Manning. Seattle are -175, Detroit +147. Total here is set at 7.5. Kirby is 3-0. No, he isn't. Kirby is 5-3 with a 3.32 ERA. Has pitched 97 and 2/3 with 102 strikeouts. Matt Manning, he's going along okay as well. I haven't got his numbers written down for some reason. Hang on, 2 secs. Matt Manning is 1-1 on the season with a 2.37 ERA. Kirby's 3-0 his last 5 starts is what I was getting to earlier. He has a 2.86 ERA over that time. He's been really good since he's come back up to the majors for his second spell. I think we can trust him here. And like I said, Matt Manning was in everyone's good books. People took him. Everyone had him on the K props last week that Noah tipped us off about. He's only given up 1 earned run in 13 innings over his last 2 starts. Seattle are going well, but Detroit have been a lot better lately, actually. They've been a lot more competitive. I think we can see a pitcher's Julia. Detroit can keep it close, but I wasn't brave enough to take the side. So I'm going to give another total. I'm going to take the under 8 here on this one. Noah last week, Matt Manning, can you see him backing it up?
Yeah, for sure. And this is a Seattle team that lately they've been in a little bit of an offensive run as well. They're in this series, just an absolute dogfight in all 4 games against Cleveland, all low scoring. And they were striking out plenty in that series. They averaged 10 strikeouts in the final 3 games of that series. You look at Manning, his last 2 appearances, or last 4, I would say, 8 strikeouts against San Fran, 6 against the Angels, 5 against the White Sox, and 7 against the Rays. Also, the Detroit Tigers, they are so prone to striking out against right-handed spinners, whether it's a slider, whether it's a curveball, they're swinging at. And if it's 3 feet short of the plate, or if it's 3 feet outside, there's a couple of guys, not just Javier Baez, but there's a couple that just go fishing for those. Kirby is a natural-born strikeout pitcher. He's got 5 strikeouts in his last 5 outings, and he's got at least 7 strikeouts in 4 of those 5. So I think based off of past performances, if these props are like 5.5, 6, anything over 6, I would take the strikeouts on both of these pitchers. And if we're talking about game, I think the price is just a little bit too high for me to be comfortable on Seattle. I like Detroit with Manning on the mound and a great bullpen behind him.
Munaf, is this a team right, or have you got another angle?
Yeah, I like the under 8 in this game as well. You guys mentioned it. Both pitchers are going along very, very well for their respective ball clubs. I'm going to take a stab at the Tigers again. Why not? +150 here. Matt Manning at home has just been absolutely incredible. You mentioned the numbers there. He has a .69 nice ERA over the last 26 innings pitched at Comerica Park there. So I'll take the dog. Give me the Tigers +150 and the under 8.
7:20 Eastern first pitch is the Colorado Rockies at the Atlanta Braves. It's Noah's guy again. It's Jose Urena going for the Colorado Rockies.
No.
And Max, yeah, you love him. Max Fried, the left-handed pitcher, will go for Atlanta. The lines are it's another chalky card. We had one of these on Friday night. It was dead chalky. Colorado plus 272, Atlanta minus 339. Wow. Total errors set, it's 8. Munaf, could you find anything exotic on this one?
No, I mean, Jose Urena got off to a great start early, very, very early on, and he's regressed back to where we thought he was going to be and the pitcher that we thought he is. And you saw that in his last start against the Rangers. You saw that against the Giants, despite, the Giants winning, the Rockies winning that game, and 2 bad outings against the Diamondbacks. He gave up 2 runs to the Padres, and now you're going up against the Atlanta offense that just absolutely rakes. And just, again, like the Cardinals, that series was so much fun to watch this past weekend. There's no way in hell I'm putting my money behind Jose Urena here. Max Fried here, he's having a great year, 12-4, 2.52 ERA. He's incredible at home, 6-3 with a 2.49 ERA. He did face the Rockies earlier this year where he in Coors Field, 8 shutout innings and only out 2 hits in Coors Field. So now he's back in his ballpark. I think he's going to dominate here. And looking at the left-handed WRC plus numbers for Colorado, I know very early on in the season they were doing very well. But over the last 2 weeks, they are number 24 in WRC plus. The team batting average is there for them, but they're just not scoring runs, is what's really telling me about the Rockies here. So if your book offers a -2.5 for the Braves, I would take that. But I think my more favorite play I like in this game is going to be probably Atlanta Braves team total in this game. That number is probably going to be a 5.5, but I think they can get over this number, especially with the Rockies bullpen and Jose Urena on the mound.
Okay, so it's an Atlanta team total for Munaf. Noah?
For me, I looked up in his last 11 starts, Max Fried is having an absolutely tremendous second half of the season. In his last 11 starts, he's a 2.18 ERA. And then this Braves bullpen, historically it's been pretty well. It was one main reason why they won the World Series last year. They have the 6th best bullpen ERA this year with a 3.27. I honestly think that they could probably keep Colorado under a team total. And honestly, that's probably where I'd go with this game. They'd probably cover a run line as well, like Munaf was talking about, 1.5, 2.5. But if you're looking for probably good odds, I'd take the under on a team total there for the Rockies.
Okay, I've got the over, the full game over here at 8. It is a bit of a mismatch. Colorado did okay against the Mets, surprisingly. That wasn't none of those wins really were straightforward for the Mets over the last week or so. The Atlanta bats are way hotter at the moment, though, and they could probably do this all by themselves, I think. If Colorado do chip in, it'll be a bit of a bonus. So, yeah, it kind of follows Munaf's Atlanta team total. So hopefully we can cash all of those. Atlanta can score the necessary runs, and we can get to over 8 in that one. 7:40 Eastern first pitch is the Boston Red Sox at the Minnesota Twins. Cutter Crawford goes for Boston, and Chris Archer is on the hill for the Twins. Boston are plus 115, Minnesota minus 135. Totally is set at 9. And Noah lead us off with Boston at Minnesota.
The Twins, they're 3-6 in their last 9 games. The Red Sox, they're 2-5 over their last 7 games. Boston, 13-7 in the last 20 meetings against the Twins, though. Cutter Crawford bumping for the Red Sox here, 3-5, 5.30 ERA this year, 72 strikeouts, 25 walks in 73 innings pitched. In his last 4 starts, he faced the Royals, the Yankees, the Orioles, and the Blue Jays. He has a 10.45 ERA. And Chris Archer going for Minnesota, 2-7 on the year, 4.35 ERA, 78 strikeouts, 43 walks, and 91.1 innings pitched. He has a 7.61 ERA over his last 7 games. So it's not been just 1 or 2 blow-up games. He's been consistently bad here for the last 2 months of this stretch here. In the second half, the Twins, they have the 14th ranked bullpen, and the Red Sox, they have the 26th ranked bullpen with a 4.54 ERA. I think we can count on a few late runs for the Twins against Boston's bullpen, and I think it pushes the total over here.
Yeah, using a lot of what you said there, this seem to me an obvious play on the Twins, because I think on both sides of the ball, I'm favouring Minnesota here with the bat and on the mound, but then also the bullpen as well. Because Chris Archer never goes beyond 5 innings.
No.
So you do need to look at what the Minnesota bullpen are going to do. And those numbers you've just given me are just another nail in the coffin. So this was quite a straightforward one. It's one of the easier games on the card for me to handicap. I did see Minnesota minus 125 earlier on. I'm now seeing minus 135, but I'm okay with that. And maybe we can shop around or see some line movement tomorrow. So I'll take the Twins. Munaf, any love for your Boston Red Sox yet?
No, I can't do it. Cutter Crawford has just, again, another pitcher that got off to a great start for the Red Sox, but again has regressed really hard for his team. On the road, 2-3 with a 6.27 ERA. He did have a great outing in Houston, where they did get that victory 2-1. But games after that in Kansas City, he gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. Against the Baltimore Orioles, he gave up 9 earned runs in 3 2/3 innings pitched. His last start against the Blue Jays, which was at Fenway Park, 4 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings pitched. So I think this is going to be an opportunity for the Twins to get to Cutter Crawford here. If your book offers those first 5 team totals, I would look at that for Minnesota Twins to go over. I do like the full game to go over too. Again, this Boston Red Sox bullpen, like Noah mentioned, is just not very good. Ranked number 26 out of 30 teams in the entire MLB. And again, Chris Archer is a guy and a pitcher that can, he'll give up the runs as well. So, maybe you want to create a stack here, or maybe even look at first five innings over. But I do love the Twins in this game, and also like their team total to go over as well.
Yeah, Lane in the chat pointing out that Cutter Crawford's given up 21 hits in his last 2 starts against Baltimore and Toronto as well. So yeah, all the reasons to get on the side of Minnesota, which we all have done. 8:05 Eastern first pitch. The Houston Astros at the Texas Rangers. Framber Valdez, left-handed pitcher, goes for Houston, and Dane Dunning will go for Texas. Houston are minus 184, Texas plus 155. Total here is set at 7. Valdez 13-4 record, 265 ERA, 156 pitched, 142 Ks. Dunning is 3-6 with a 4.19 ERA. Has pitched 129 innings with 112 Ks. Valdez has been flying, 4-0 in his last 5 starts with a 2.36 ERA. You're getting good length out of him. He's gone 7 innings 4 times in those last 5 games. So there may be an outs prop. I know Munaf likes an outs prop here and there. If you can get something above anything over 18, maybe something like that. 3 games against Texas this season, and this is the blue chip stat to handicap this game. 0.45 ERA in those 3 games that he started against the state rivals. Dane Dunning, he's going along okay as well. 3.49 in his last 5, and the worst start in that stretch was at Colorado, so we can put a line through that one. We love Houston unders. I've talked at both pitches here, so you can see where I'm going. I saw the under 7 here at plus 105, so we're getting a fairly decent price on this under. So I'm happy to take that at plus 105, Munaf.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the numbers for Framber Valdez against the Texas Rangers, 2-0, 0.45 ERA, only 1 earned run given up in 20 innings. To the Texas Rangers. And Dane Dunning, we've talked about it. It's a pitcher that we want to back at home versus on the road, where the ERA is at 5.25 on the road, where he's 0-5, but at home 3-1 with 3.21 ERA. So if you're able to, maybe if this number gets up to 7.5, you possibly see a 4 in the first 5 innings. I like the under on that number. If it does come out at 4, I'll probably wait because you said the vig is on the over in this game, but I think that's my favorite play. I'll probably take a look at the Astros first 5 innings in this game as well.
Noah, what do you make of this one? Yes, he's on mute. Do you know what, Noah? Just before we handicap the last game, I was about to point out that you were on a world record run of not leaving yourself on mute. You've got nearly a week. And I had that thought about 2.5 minutes ago, and you've got and ballsed it right up. Unlucky.
All right.
Put a chip on your board.
All right.
He's so disappointed in himself.
Yeah. Absolutely. I don't know if he's angry with me or himself.
No, because I was gonna rip on you. I was talking about you when I was on mute. Now I'm debating whether
That's
I want to
even
do
better.
it.
See, that's
Yeah.
God. That's
Now I'm
God punishing you, guys.
Yeah. Now I'm debating whether I even want to do it. I was gonna like half like jab at him, but half commend him, Munaf, because obviously Houston is playing Texas here. I was gonna commend him that he knew that both of those
Oh,
teams
okay.
are in the state of Texas.
Yeah, I was
So,
impressed by that too.
yeah, I was impressed that he threw that in his analysis. Okay, so I've said this on the podcast I think once before. Watching the broadcast of an Astros game with Valdez pitching, I believe he has 22 straight quality starts.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% on that, but
He broke the record.
It looks like that on his resume. He's got 22 straight appearances of 6 innings with 3 or less runs. It is ridiculous stretch that he's on right now. And Dane Dunning pitches better at home as well. So I love an under in this game.
Okay, so we'll go on the under. I've very much enjoyed everyone piling into you in the group chat with the buffoon. That's catching on since we first termed you a buffoon a couple of weeks ago.
That might be like the first piece of branded MLB podcast merch.
Yeah. Oh, mate.
That's our new
hashtag. You got bits and bombs or bits and bobs. You got buffoon. You have I don't know what else.
Oh, I'd love a buffoon t-shirt.
Bits and bobs is going to be great, though.
I've never wanted anything more in my life than I want a buffoon t-shirt.
What would you think of an Ichiro bits and then Bob's was Shohei on the same shirt?
I don't get the link, but I'm here for it. Is there a link, or is it just
isn't bits like something small and then Bob's is a little bit bigger, right? So like Ichiro hits for contact, Shohei bombs.
No,
or am I not picking up the same?
No, bits and Bobs is like here and there.
Oh, I was thinking it was small going bigger.
No, it's Bobs. Not bombs. BOBS.
No, I wasn't saying bombs. I was saying Bobs, but
yeah, you may have said just little bits of stuff.
I thought it was just little bits that stacked up into something great.
No, this and that. Do you understand the phrase this and that?
Yes.
Okay, well there you go. That's what bits and bobs translates entirely to this and that. Okay. English lesson over for today. We'll go to an 8:10 Eastern first pitch between Kansas City Royals, which is in the state of Kansas, and the Chicago White Sox, where Brady Singer will take the ball for Kansas and Lucas Giolito will be on the hill for the Chicago White Sox. Kansas City are plus 120. The White Sox are minus 142. Don't see a total on this one currently. Munaf, Kansas City at the White Sox. Are you anywhere you can take the White Sox yet?
I can't do it. I think there's some good value here on the Kansas City Royals at that plus 120 price. Do a C total of 8, but Brady Singer has been incredible this season for the Kansas City Royals. 7-4 on the season, 3.15 ERA, 120 strikeouts at 29 walks. Last 5 games, he's 3-1 with a 2.23 ERA. He has faced the White Sox, I believe, has had 4 appearances, which 3 have been starts for Brady Singer. In that span, he's 2-1 with a 2.01 ERA against the White Sox. He had 2 starts in August against the White Sox. He lost 1. 4-1. He gave up a 3 spot in the 3rd inning, but other than that, he was absolutely brilliant. In his last start, August 9th, the Royals beat the White Sox 4-2, where Singer was actually incredible for the Kansas City Royals. Lucas Giolito, 10-7 on the season, 5.14 ERA. Last 5 games, he's 4-1 with a 5.13 ERA. He also did face the Royals earlier this season. In 2 starts, he has a 3.60 ERA, 1-0 record. The area he has struggled in is at home for Giolito. He's 4-5 with a 6.71 ERA. The White Sox have actually won 4 of his last 5 starts, and I think, all 5 of those games have gone over the number of 8 over his last 5 starts. I'm still going to stick with the Royals here. I think that their bats really showed up this weekend against the Padres. I think they can carry that into Chicago here against Lucas Giolito. I do like the over 8 in this game. I'm also going to go with the Kansas City Royals on the dog price here at plus 120.
So Munaf goes for the dog. Noah?
I mean, Kansas City is my team. The lineup, like Munaf said, my favorite word to use for them is they're feisty. Just scratching across a couple of runs here and there. And Brady Singer has been on an absolute roll right now. I have much more confidence in my guy there instead of Giolito, who I thought would be great at the beginning of the season. But lately, it's kind of just been flipped. Every once in a while, you get a nice little good underdog cash on this Royals team, and that's where I'm going to go here for this game as well.
Yeah, there's absolutely no reason not to take Kansas in this game at all. I saw plus 140 earlier on. That's shifted to plus 120. But yeah, you've got precedence for absolutely everything. Lewis Robert for the White Sox has gone day to day again. He's been day to day for about 6 weeks. Like that designation, like comes on and they take it off again. Like every 36 hours, I do not know what's wrong with him. I think it's possible his heart's not in it. It might be the issue. But yeah, there's absolutely no reason not to take Kansas City at plus 120 or anything bigger than that if you can find it. 8:10 Eastern is the Pittsburgh Pirates at the Milwaukee Brewers. There's no lines for this game, and we don't know why, because we've had pictures all day. The pictures
confirmed too on MLB.com.
Yeah, Mitch Keller going for the Pittsburgh Pirates and Jason Alexander for the Milwaukee Brewers, but absolutely no lines. So I don't know why there'd be no lines. But Noah, you can take us through this one if you have anything for it.
Yeah, I actually have like a full handicap here because it's kind of expected that Pittsburgh is going to be the dog, right? So the Pirates, they're 1-7 in their last 8 games. They're 5-0 in their last 5 games against the Brew Crew. Pittsburgh is going with Mitch Keller here, who's 4-10 with a 4.5 ERA, 97 strikeouts, 44 walks, and 118 innings pitched. He has a 9.32 ERA in his last 3 games against the Diamondbacks, Red Sox, and Braves. Now for Milwaukee, they're going with Jason Alexander. So it's going to be like either a short start or an opener here. He's 2-1. He's started 7 games, none lasting more than 3 innings. He has a 5.26 ERA on the year, 28 strikeouts, 21 walks in 53 innings pitched. This poor guy, dude. He's made 3 straight appearances against the Dodgers. It's absolutely skewed his numbers. In his last appearance, he gave up 3 runs in 3 innings in that start. And I don't really know where to go on this one, but assuming that there's going to be somewhat of a good dog price on the Pirates, I'm assuming it's probably going to end up at like plus 140 because Alexander is not a huge name. I think my play would be here, the Pirates on the money line. No confidence behind it, but that's got to be the play, I think.
Okay, Moonaf, did you have anything on this game at all?
Yeah, I think Alexander gets a start, but I think it's going to be Adrian Houser that comes in after him. And he got roughed up in his last start in Dodger Stadium where he gave up 5 earned runs and 2 1/3 innings pitched. I kind of like the over in this game between these two ball clubs. I think Houser can give it up, and he did against – I know it's a Dodgers, so that might be an outlier. But I think Pirates are good for, putting up a few runs. And, again, talked about Mitch Keller. He's prone to giving up runs as well. I know he's better on the road versus at home, but the ERA is still above 4. If this number comes out around 8, I do like the over in this game between the Brewers and the Pirates.
Yeah, I've got absolutely nothing on this one, which actually I was quite relieved about. I didn't want a handicap, but it was horrible to look at. Mitch Keller and Jason Alexander. It was just an ugly thing to try and wrap your head around. So when there was no lines on it, I was delighted not to put myself through that ordeal. So I didn't. We've got 3 games left to handicap this evening. I can tell you firstly about Sleeper though. Sleeper, the fantasy platform, which I'm sure you use and are using currently bang in the middle of draft season. But they have added that game changing product, which is like nothing else in the industry. The over or under game, which is the first sports contest that's integrated into your fantasy experience. You can enter a contest via over under itself, but you can also do so through your fantasy league's matchup screen. So if you've got Patrick Mahomes as your starting QB, and you think you're going to win your fantasy matchup this week, you can stick over 250 passing yards in as a over or under pick. And if that comes in, you can win anywhere from 2 to 20 times the stake that you select. I mean, it's absolute game changer. That never heard or seen anything like it. So I'm hoping I can get on from this side of the pond. The chat group on there is really good fun as well. You can ride your friends' picks. You can chit talk each other in the chat box, that kind of malarkey. Loads of fun to play. If you download Sleeper, go to sleeper.com/SGP. Sleeper will automatically match your first deposit up to $100. Sleeper.com/SGP. You'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. T's and C's apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. And finally, Run Your Pool, the home of competition. Again, more football-related stuff on there. Pick'em, survivors, fantasy pools. I know Moonaf's commissioning a whole load of stuff over there as well. It's a one-stop shop for sports gaming with customizable features you don't get anywhere else. And we have teamed up with Run Your Pool to host a pool for our official SGP and NFL Survivor contest. You can reserve your spot, $500 cash to the winner and a $250 gift certificate. Sign up today at play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. Play.runyourpool.com/SGPN. 3 games to go, 9:38 Eastern. It's the New York Yankees at the LA Angels. Jameson Taillon will get the start for the Yankees, and Mike Myers will go for the LA Angels. Lines, New York Yankees -175. The Angels +150. Total errors set at 8. Taillon is 12-4 on the season, has a 3.89 ERA. He's pitched 138 2/3 with 115 strikeouts. Myers is 1-0, 4.46 ERA, 34 1/3, pitched 32 strikeouts. Taillon was better last time, but that was against Oakland. So I prefer to take his performances in the games before that. And he'd given up 3, 3, 3, and 5 in the 4 games before that. So no real trust I can put in Taillon going well here at all. This is only my second start. He has pitched out of the pen earlier in the season, but got a start last time and actually went 0 scoreless over 5 against the Tampa Bay Rays. The Angels just swept Toronto. New York struggled against Oakland. I think Myers can go well again. He'll have to. I'm going to take the Angels here on the money line. I had +170 earlier on. Again, shifted slightly into +150. But I'm going to take the Angels to cause a little upset here against Jameson Taillon and the scuffling Yankees side, Munaf.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned about Taillon in his last start, which was against the A's. I'm not sure how much you can take away from it, but his prior starts, the Yankees lost 3 of his last 4 starts prior to that, where he gave up at least 3 earned runs in every single one of those games. And, he did have a great start against the Angels earlier this year. He went 8 innings, only allowed 1 earned run against them. His half of his wins have come on the road here at 6-2 with a 4.07 ERA. I don't know. Can I trust him here? I'm not sure. The offense for the Angels seems like it's back, right? And I talked about them having Mike Trout back. They also got David Fletcher back. Ohtani's doing Ohtani things. And I think that, again, when the Yankees come to town, the fans come out. And it's going to be a packed house. We saw that in Oakland. It almost seems like it was a home game for the New York Yankees in Oakland. But I think it's going to be, it's going to be electric crowd. We know you have the stars with Ohtani, Trout, Judge all on the field. It's going to be exciting. So I like your angle here, Malcolm. I think I want to take a stab here with the value on the Angels here as well. And I think that's going to be a game or a series that we do see runs being scored. So I like the over 8 in this game as well.
David Fletcher is an auto start for me at the minute in DFS every night. You get the same thing. He faces 5 pitches, then slaps one over the third baseman's head for a single. Easy. Noah, New York at the Angels.
I think the most compelling little news bit that is going under the radar right now is Clay Holmes has returned from the IL today for the New York Yankees. So it's a big piece of the back end of that bullpen that has blown a few games here in this little skid for the Yankees. So I still like the Angels side with you guys here. I think that the offense has picked up good momentum with Trout back in that lineup. It's So I'm not gonna go down that road. We have many times before on this podcast, but the Angels, it's so disappointing how bad this team is sometimes with those two guys on that team. So I'll go with the Angels money line here.
So a team right on the Angels. I just had a very cheeky little look on our waiver wire to see if Clay Holmes was kicking around there. Noah,
Oh,
when
you dirty!
That. He's not. He's good. Fighting Sheebs has picked him up already, but it's worth a look because that would have been funny. 9:40 Eastern first pitch. The Philadelphia Phillies at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Aaron Nola takes the ball for Philadelphia, and Zach Gallen, who we handicapped last night, myself and Dylan will go for the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Phillies are -130. Arizona +110. Totally set at 7. Probably the pitching matchup of the night, Noah. So talk us through it.
It's Munaf, I think.
It is Munaf. Sorry, I apologize. Munaf hit me.
Nola 9-10 on the season, 3.08 ERA. Last 5 games, 3-2 with a 2.12 ERA for the Philadelphia Phillies. It seems like he's gotten into trouble, or not trouble, but they haven't been able to win his road starts when Aaron Nola starts, right? He's 4-6 on the road, but his ERA is still 2.13. So he's been pretty consistent wherever he's pitching. His last start was against the Reds, 9 shutout innings, a complete game shutout for Aaron Nola, 11 strikeouts. He struck out at least 8 batters over his 4 of his last 5 starts. Zach Gallen, I'm sure you guys talked about it yesterday, but he's been absolutely on fire over his last 5 games, 4-0 with a .82 ERA. 33 innings pitched, 3 earned runs at home, 4-0 with a 2.92 ERA. He did get into a little bit of trouble earlier this year against the Phillies, where he allowed 4 earned runs in just 1 2/3 innings pitched. I know the offense is hot right now for the Philadelphia Phillies, but the Diamondbacks have won 4 of his last 5 starts. I think what I want to do here is pretty much back the pitchers. And I think I'm going to take the under 7.5 in this game between the Diamondbacks and the Phillies. I think that Nola can really shut down the offense of the Arizona Diamondbacks, or lack thereof. And I think Gallen can have a better outing this time around, especially the form that he is in right now for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So I'll take the under 7.5 in this game. And maybe that first 5 innings total is at 4. I like the under on that as well.
Completely co-sign everything you said. I've got the under written down. Noah?
Yeah, we're going to retweet that under. I like the under, and I'm going to side with the Phillies. I just think that they need to come away from this series at least with 2 wins. Is it a 2-gamer or a 3-gamer here? It's a 3-gamer. I think they need to take 2 just to, stay in this NL wildcard race. You shouldn't be losing to Arizona.
Last game on the slate here. Who is your favorite Saint? We've got the San Diego Padres against the San Francisco Giants. Left-hander Blake Snell goes for the Padres. Logan Webb goes for San Francisco. Close on the books. San Diego -105. The Giants -115. Total at 7.5, like all Giants games are. Noah, where are you leading us with this one?
Yeah, so I guess the big piece of news that everybody's been going with on this Monday in the MLB is just kind of the headline, what's wrong with Josh Hader? Did a little bit of research. He's given up 28 runs since being with the Padres, or actually 28 runs since July. That's 21 innings pitched. And then before July, 0 runs in his last 38 innings pitched. So it's just a really, really bad rut that Hader's in. And given that what he's been going on in his personal life, it's a tough situation. So it's like, guy probably is going on, or something's going on outside of the baseball field that's probably bothering him a little bit after this trade, especially having to pick up everything and move over to across the country. But San Diego, they're 7-3 in their last 10 games against the Giants. The Giants, they're 2-8 in their last 10 straight up. This is another sneaky good pitching matchup. They were littered all over the board today. Both guys, they're coming off brutal outings, though. Blake Snell, he went 5-7 this year, 4.24 ERA, 116 strikeouts, 38 walks, 87 innings pitched. His last outing was against Cleveland. It was 3.1 innings, 6 earned runs on 3 bombs. And then Logan, he has a 1.67 ERA in his prior 7 starts. I'll say that. Logan Webb, he has 11-7 record this year, 3.33 ERA, 130 strikeouts, 45 walks, and 159.1 innings pitched. A 2.91 home ERA, but on the road in his last start, it was against the Detroit Tigers. He had a no-hitter through 5, and in the 6th inning, they lit him up for 6 runs. So I think both of these guys get back on track, and these offenses keep sputtering. My pick is for this game to go under.
Moonaf, what have you got?
Yeah, Logan Webb has been a pitcher that you want to back at home, right? Since, I believe, 2021, he's 14-4 at home overall. And against the Padres this season, he does have 2 starts where he has a 1-0 record with a 1.13 ERA. And I know the Padres offense got it going in the series against the Royals this weekend, but I think that, you're going into a pitcher's ballpark here. I think that runs will be at a premium again. I think that Logan will have another great outing. Looking at the WRC plus numbers, left-handed pitching, San Diego is number 1 over the last 2 weeks in that category of WRC plus. But I don't know. I just feel like that Logan Webb just has the number right now. The stats are really backing it up. And Webb is a guy that I want to back at home, right? Noah said the numbers there. So Blake Snell, I'm sorry, I misread that WRC plus stat. That Padres are number 1, but Logan Webb is a right-handed pitcher. San Francisco I was trying to get at, and San Francisco is number 11. So they do have some success against left-handed pitching. Blake Snell, over his last 5 starts, he's been all right. And then I kind of take a look at what he's done against the Giants since 2021. Let's see here. He is 2-1 with a 3.08 ERA. So I really do like the under in this game. Again, I think that we'll see a good pitching performance out of both teams. And I do like the Giants money line in this game as well. Logan Webb at the house, it's an auto bet for me.
Yep, exactly the same, Moon. I've got the Giants. It was quite tricky because Snell's been improving lately. Before his last start, he kind of got to a level that he probably should be at. This is going to be a low-scoring game tomorrow. A little bit of home advantage for San Francisco, and I can see them getting over the line, something like 3-2, possibly tomorrow. Josh Hader, he's on my fantasy team now, and this morning when I did win this week, but his ERA for my team this week was 164. Which is pretty impressive. So
he gave up 6 runs with only 1 out. So that
I was delighted. Didn't affect anything, thankfully. So
you had
Josh,
him on the bench?
No, it was.
You started.
I was already behind in that category.
What was your team ERA for the week?
Oh, I can't remember. It wasn't terrible because it was 3 point something. He just obviously only had the 1 out, which inflated it ridiculously. But yeah, that did make me giggle this morning. So hopefully Josh can sort himself out as we enter the playoffs in a couple of weeks' time. Okay, gang, we have got through all 15 games, so it is lock and dog time. And Noah will come straight back to you. You can give us a couple of winners.
Thanks for giving me the lead off, because my dad just walked in the room, probably heard the door, giving me the news that we are about to get pounded by a thunderstorm. And he said, plug in your things. That way they don't die. So luckily I have the setup all good. I shouldn't lose connection here. But for my lock, I'm going to go with the under in the what game was it? I have it on my computer, not my notebook. The under in the Baltimore Orioles and Cleveland Guardians game. I like Spencer Watkins and Cal Quantrill in this matchup. Both have been in great form, and both offenses have been hitting unders left and right throughout the last 2 weeks. So love that under there. And for my dog, I'm going to go with the Chicago Cubs. Now, Stroman pitches great on the road, a nice little revenge spot as well that Munaf pointed out earlier in the podcast. This year, Stroman has an ERA of 2.11 on the road. Toronto's 1-6 in their last 7 games at the Rogers Center. Kevin Gausman on the season has a 3.15 ERA, but at home he has a 4.76 home ERA. So I think with given that the environments that both of these pitchers are pitching in and how comfortable or uncomfortable they are in the situations, and the Blue Jays lineup struggles, I think the Cubs money line is a pretty good price here. I like that.
Okay, interesting dog there, Noah. Moonaf, what do you have for us?
Yeah, for my lock, let's go with the let's go with the under in the Phillies and the Diamondbacks game at 7.5 right now. Again, you have two stud pitchers on the mound. Aaron Nola has been pretty much pitching well anywhere he pitches, whether it's been at home or or on the road. Zach Gallen talked about the numbers. He's in great recent form. I know he had the bad outing against the Phillies earlier this season, but I think that this is a game being at Chase Field in his home stadium. I think that where he's been doing really well, he's undefeated. I think this number stays under the total between these two pitchers. So give me the under 7.5 at -125. For my dog, I'm gonna go with Noah's Tigers with Matt Manning on the mound. Give me the first 5 innings money line in this game. I know Noah, you mentioned that they have a great bullpen, but I'm gonna shrink this down. I'm gonna take the bullpens out of it. I think Matt Manning comes out and pitches another gem at home for the Detroit Tigers, and hopefully maybe the Tigers have another one of those bottom of the fifths like they did against Logan Webb and squeak by with a victory in the first 5 innings. So lock under 7.5 in the Phillies and Diamondbacks game, and my dog will be the Detroit Tigers +150 on the money line against the Seattle Mariners.
Okay, I'm going to call a little audible on my lock. I had the full game under there, Moonaf, and I don't want to mush you. And I had plenty to choose from tonight, actually. So I'll give a run line. I'm going to take St. Louis to be a little bit better than Cincinnati tomorrow. Dakota Hudson over Justin Dunn. I don't mind Justin Dunn, but I think tomorrow is not a great spot for him. St. Louis are a very good offense, and they've been going well recently. So St. Louis on the run line there at -120. And for my dog, I can't believe it fell to me. You boys have left it for me to take Kansas City. I mean, there's no reason not to take them. They've proved time and time again that they're a great underdog. The White Sox are completely in timeout, I think, for just about everybody at the moment. KC have beaten them recently. Brady Singer's gone well against them recently. Everything points to KC going well. So I'll take KC as my dog. And that wraps it up, people. Moonaf, anything you need to tell the people before we crack on?
No, I mean, NFL season's approaching. So if you haven't already subscribed or listened to any of the division previews on the NFL Gambling Podcast, make sure to do so. And obviously, subscribe to all the shows on the network, whether it's MLB, NFL, MMA, tennis, WNBA. I know they're in the playoffs, so check it all out. It just download the app. It makes it so much easier for you. But other than that, no, just grinding away.
Noah, what's happening?
Yeah, same thing for me. Honestly, I'm just clipping out college experience episodes left and right and pumping them out to the people. TikTok's blowing up. They're great for those little 1-minute shorts from the podcast and stuff like that. So any love to that, or I've been doing it lately. I had one for yesterday's, or technically today's, but Monday's podcast. But Zach Gallen got taken out of the game of both of your locks, and maybe Dylan had them as a dog. Either way, I had a bunch of Zach Gallen highlights, and I was just like, I'm not going to remake this video. So passed on it. There'll be a video tomorrow of us three in this lock dog section, but appreciate all the attention on the social medias. MLB SGPN for the team here. And then if you're watching on YouTube, all of our tags are right on our screen. Thank you guys. The chat was great today.
Yeah, it really was fun. Over the next couple of days, I'm going to take a look at the awards markets for the rest of the season to see if I can find one or two there might be some value in as we head into September. Someone that's overlooked, so I'll be knocking out an article on that. Have a look at that. Have a look for that on sportsgamblingpodcast.com. And I think it's important just to remind you everyone to get in these pools. There's loads of free stuff going on. You've got play.runyourpool.com/SGPN for the Survivor. You've got the college football contest and the NFL contest, which is $5,000. Sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. So why not? The Discord's a great place to be anyway. So if you're not signed up, go and try and win some free money, man.
Thanks, you had a Survivor Pool podcast on the mothership, right?
Yeah, they had Derek Stevens, Circa owner. They did an interview with him, and then if you haven't checked out that pod, that was a lot of fun. We talked about Survivor strategies, and then Kramer, Sean, and I kind of made our own map of the Survivor for the season. So
I still need to check it out.
Yeah, hopefully we put out a winner on that one.
Oh, wow. Okay. I 100% will be doing that first thing tomorrow. I'm going to listen to that because it's the first time I've played Survivor this season. And me and Dylan discussed it a little bit last night. That I took my first look yesterday. Just at I was trying to find a safe play. You're looking for the shorter price favourites, but then equally, you don't want to be too chalky as well. So I need to find a way to plot my way through the first 5 or 6 weeks.
I had Indianapolis last year, and they lost the Jaguars in the first week.
Yeah, well done.
Thanks.
So yeah, I'll hopefully Moodaf and the boys can help me plot my way through September at least, and then we can start getting excited after that. Okay, loads to choose from. You know all the places to go and find our content. Thanks everyone for listening. It was a load of fun. We'll be back tomorrow. Good luck with all your bets. Until then, we'll see you down the